like we young guys, we want to fit in.
Yeah.
You know, we want to fit in. We want to get the nice clothes, a nice car. We live in a nice apartment.
Today our episode is about debt management. South Africans, factually, I got the facts here in my hand, they suffer from a lot of debt, right? I could just read out one fact that we just literally just Googled now, is that SA Human Rights Commission says more than 50% of SA's credit active consumers, 19 million, right, are over indebted. That's a large number, bro. I don't even know we're that much of people. That's a lot of people to be in, active debt.
This one is a very sad one because I think the crisis of debt. I mean, first of all, SA is already in debt. The country is in debt, and I think the consumers as well are experiencing high levels of debt. So when it comes to debt management, bro, I think the biggest thing when it comes to debt management, it has to do with discipline. I think consumers need to be disciplined enough to not take that loan for leisure, or to try find ways to save more money instead of taking out that extra loan or overdrafting the facilities or whatever. So I think it's just discipline, learning how to save or getting into the habit of saving, learning how to upskill so you can improve your income potential. So it's all about making more money and then being disciplined enough, to get yourself out of that hole, that you put yourself in.
So, when it comes to debt management, bro, let's look at some of the causes of debt. Right, before we even go to like the action, some of the facts, and then into some solutions, right? And how you can avoid all of this debt, right? Especially if you're in your 20s now, you've got a good job or you started your own small business, and we're going to guide you in terms of how you can manage that before it gets to a point where you start sinking in debt, bro, and then you become all depressed and one of those people that we've seen in our families, So I think some of the causes, bro, definitely like you said, bro, people aren't able to manage, their money, and they actually want to spend it on leisure items. Let's look at some of the products that they buy, bro. People are paying for contracts or for phones. The contract is 1,000 something rand for the next 36 months, bro. It makes no sense, bro. How are you spending 12K a year, bro, on just a cell phone? By the time you've done your contract period, that fourth version of that phone is now out, and you are already way back. So, yeah, exactly. And then you get housing, you get vehicles, bro. All of that is debt. And if I give myself as an example, right, is most of my income that I earn from my current job, is that most of it, in fact, almost 60 to 70% of it goes to me paying back debts. So although I'm earning income, I don't see the full income. Let's say, for example, I earn 20,000. I'm paying 16, I'm only seeing 4. Which, how do you live on 4, bro? So, I'm paying a house, paying a car, whatever else I'm paying, And then there's still the phone contracts. By the time you're done, you realize like you spent your full income, but you don't even have enough to carry you through the month. And then you end up going for your overdraft facilities, and then you start taking out loans for things, and then you get people who end up with kids. Now they got to pay school fees, and then you just the debt just keeps piling and piling and piling up.
I always feel like debt management or going into debt or whatever, because we all know growing up we were like, man, don't ever buy debt, don't ever buy a car on credit or whatever. I always buy cash, it was taken. But now the older you get, you realize that no, you can use debt to advantage or whatever. But for me, I also feel like there's this thing about debt, the way it's stigmatized and branded. It's like debt is a financial problem or a lack of financial literacy for me. Like or you're in debt because you can't handle your money properly. You can't. But I don't think debt is a financial illiteracy problem, or it's because of poor money management skills. I just think it's a psychological problem, but I think it manifests as a financial problem. Because think about it now. The reason why I say it's a psychological problem or societal problem is because if, for example, like we're non-white, I hate going into the racial things, but hey, I'm sorry, but like we're non-white, right? And we know that historically we have a disadvantage, right? So you get a job, it pays you that amount, but your living expenses is way more than what you're earning. So obviously, how are you going to cover the shortfall?
Yeah.
Through a debt, you understand? So already you're on the back bender when you're starting out in your career. Plus there's social currencies, you know, like we young guys, we want to fit in.
Yeah.
You know, we want to fit in, we want to get the nice clothes, a nice car, we want to live in a nice apartment, but all in the name of being, you know, socially, whatever. You know, there's a lot of people out here, nice cars, whatever, that you know, that actually look like they have it together, but they don't.
Yeah,
you know, their life is financed through debt.
Yeah.
So I always say that I think it's just because sometimes you're a like of things, you know, and we tend to bite more than we can chew, you know. So I think the psychology and there's actually much more to us being in debt than just, you know, being poor, just having poor financial and money management skills, in my opinion.
It's a good point, though, because, like you said, it's psychological. Because if you hand someone 100 rand who lives on the road, the first thing this man's going to focus on is getting something to eat, something to drink, right? And it's not that he's financially illiterate; it's that he needs the basic.
Basically, yes.
Yeah. He's not thinking about showing off anything, bro. This man just wants to get something to eat. But if you give someone who's fully capable of working, fully capable of, you know, managing their daily expenses, and you give them extra cash, what's he gonna do? He's not gonna take it and save it or invest it, right? He's literally gonna take it and see, maybe buy myself some sneakers, bro. Some extra cash. I'm gonna buy some sneakers, bro. Why are you buying sneakers? For who, bro? And he's like, mentally he's convinced himself the sneakers is for me. But is it really for you, bro? Is it really, like, are you going to die if you don't buy the sneaker, bro? Like, is it really that, do you need it that bad, bro? It's not for you, it's because you have already convinced yourself that you need to dress this way, you need to fit in that social stigma. So like you said, psychological thing, bro. So I think it's a very good point that you raised, bro. I mean, let's look at some of the facts, bro. I know you were busy with, you're trying to get some of the facts, bro. Let's look at some of the facts of SA that people actually don't even know about, bro.
Bro, it's so fucking scary, bro, the debt crisis we have. I'm just reading one here, for example. People with a take-home pay, for example, right? People with a take-home pay of over 20,000 rand per month spend 60% of their monthly income servicing debt.
And I was just saying that, bro.
Which is like basically what...
I was just saying that, bro.
You're saying that,
That's literally how much people do spend, bro. And I can say, I had this conversation with my dad when I was a kid. He's like, how much do you think you need to survive? At that point, I was like, about 12,000. Bro, you give me 12,000 now.
Go on.
See how quick I can spend that 12,000. The other thing I had, bro, was that 46% of consumers are up to 3 months overdue on loan repayments. 46%, bro.
That's very high.
Overdue on loan repayment. So these are the most recent facts, right? So obviously you're not gonna give you some 2018 facts. So, bro, 46%, up to 3 months overdue on loan repayments. But why do you think that is, bro?
That's scary. I think also, you know, I think the lockdown had a huge impact. People were obviously on path to, you know, when everything is open, the economy is open, but it's easy to like you forecast or you can budget or plan properly because you know that, you know, I can get money from here or here or here. It's like, imagine if you're in the event space, you know, you're gigging every weekend. You know, you're a DJ, for example, or you're event planner, or you're event host. You know, every weekend, spring now, you have so many gigs or parties planned. but then lockdown comes, you see. So it kind of restricts your income flow, and I think in turn the ripple effect is the fact that people can't pay back their debts. And also I think the problem is now, because remember when the first lockdown came, financial institutions were giving people payment holidays.
Yes.
Remember that, right? But now the payment holidays are about to finish up now.
Yeah.
And you tell me banks are going to be kind when it comes to, you're like, guys, we gave you X amount of time. Now it's time to pay the piper.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be pretty about it, you know?
I think it's true, bro.
Yeah.
And you know, the one thing is it's sad, bro, because speaking about the bank, you know, a lot of companies, you know, the bigger corporations, the smaller corporations, especially the smaller corporations, you know, they can't afford to employ people full time, bro. So they end up employing, you know, contractors, like contractors. So you're there on maybe a 6-month contract, whatever the case is, bro. Because we can't afford you long term. Let's see, you know, how well you do, and maybe we can find a way, if you're, you know, value add to the company, let's find a way to increase your salary or make you permanent or keep you on a longer contract. Right? But there's also like legislation rules about that. You can't keep giving people contracts. Right? So you can't say contract now, contract now, contract now. There's a limit to how many times you can renew a temporary contract before you have to employ them permanently.
Oh, okay.
So there's actually a real thing, bro. So literally right now, I think that also led to a lot of issues, bro. It's because people were getting contract work, and next thing you know, this guy's buying the new polos, and he's thinking, you know, he's confident in his work, he's going to get the job. But the reality is, because of COVID and the circumstances around us, the companies can't afford to keep you for another 6 months. So this guy has this car that he's bought. He's already paid 2 months off, but now he's stuck, bro. He's got 4 months left. And they don't tell you they're not going to renew your contract, bro. It's like, you had a 6-month contract, that was our agreement. Come 6 months, sorry, bro, you gotta go.
Because I'm looking at the circumstances, you know, it's not like I'm lying to you.
It's not.
It's out there, you know.